Good morning, my name's John Wright. And you know what? I'm sitting here watching. I always watch documents and stuff of stuff that's going on throughout the United States, and I take my time every day to try to become informed on what's really going on in the United States, and I try to figure out what is exactly that's going on in people's minds, because I've had to deal with bowlers, a lot of bowling, a lot of bowlers, a lot of people from a lot of different areas. I see things that's going on, and I've been quite puzzled over the years how people are acting, and they're acting out and stuff like this. And right here, this is Jonathan Carl, and I want you to hear what the words that he says.
Hey, I'll do a low light, and it's Sunday. But that's the first day of the week, so I can do that, right? Seeing the
Yes.
Detroit Lions and the Ravens lose, we're preparing for the Super Bowl. I did not want to watch, and the the corollary to that is to have to hear all the madness on the QAnon right about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey for another couple of weeks. Just
Now, right there, you heard it, QAnon. Right there, you heard it, QAnon. You know what? I came across this here language before they started talking about it on the internet. I started talking about it, and I started talking about to Ernie. And to be honest with you, when you're talking to somebody and you come across something that you know that there's a good chance that they may know something about, and you spring it to them, you'll see this gloss look come across anyone's face. I mean, am I reading it wrong or am I reading it correctly? Okay? Now, those are actual signs that you can actually read and judge by, instead of just say you see someone's name and you see another the words associated with this. This isn't Scrabble, but my mother used Scrabble. My mother used Scrabble. My mother would also play other games, you know. And my mother did crossword puzzles, and she was always reading crossword puzzles and living in Harlequin Quinn romance novels, for an escape of reality, because she couldn't face what was going on. I have people that come by here. A guy just waved in, and there, and this QAnon, really, I think it is absolutely spread across the United States through the bowling centers, and it's through the law enforcement community too. And the law enforcement community can walk right in your bowling center, they think, and cause friction, because that's what they did to me in Lewis County, Washington. And I took them to the door and said, you can't come in here and do this because you're causing and affecting people. And I could see it on people because I could read people. Jesus Christ, nobody needs to tell me that if there's fucking smoke and fire coming out of the kitchen in the restaurant, that these here people won't notice something that's going on. Well, just like that, those two officers that came in the bowling alley, these here people, all of a sudden, they're like, God damn, what are we going to do now? They're here. I used to call those cops the swastika. And the swastika is not the German people, by the way, and I don't want to offend the German people as a whole. But when people think that they have rights over people that are happy, for those people that are not happy, that are living in this Eon world out there that's spreading havoc around and stuff like that, you can't stand it because everybody else is having a good fucking time. Except, well, what's in it for us? Because my mother started saying, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? When she could see that because of my attitude that I had, well, at least I was living a little more happier. I always thought that at least there's a lot of things going on around me, at least in my little area, I could be happy. You know what? These people would like to keep you contained and keep you, like this, and not knowing what's going on and stuff like this. You know why? Because they have a bitterness inside of them, and it's caused from what? What is it caused from? I will say that it probably started right when they seen horrific action happen of the John F. Kennedy assassination that was nationally televised for shock therapy value to set the whole ball in motion of the takeover of the United States of America through the little red raspberries, the Republican Party. I mean, I've seen it myself. My sister, whether she wants to admit it or not, his daughter was taken over by my mother and Jerry Wright to hold influence over this group of people. And I was held in a cage in Port Angeles, Washington, and my sister was right there at a piano. You know, I shouldn't have to explain, but I have, just for the fact that you go question these people and ask them how their life was and stuff, and how does it work up to this. Well, my brother Jerry was collecting pigeons in the backyard. They were collecting pigeons, and I was the pigeon catcher. They had me, they would open the cage, they'd take the pigeon out, they'd have me reset the trap and set it for them. I'd set the trap, they'd take the pigeon, and that's what they continued to do. They killed a lot of my friends. And the law enforcement community was involved in it because the D.B. Cooper crime and stuff, that bowling alley's right next to the cemetery in Morton, Washington. There's a saw on that bowling alley. They've painted it gray since I put a 37-foot motorhome right here on Alpine and Delphi, and the cops used to sit right over there at the fire station, and they don't want to be there no more. So every one of these cops that's been here and watching right here at this here house, they should put up their badge, they should put up their guns, and they should fucking roll over and tell every goddamn thing they know. And if they're involved with the Republican Party and with Eon and this conspiracy in the United States of America, they need to be, for one, it may be mass hypnosis right on stage from a public speaker going out there and talking to people. And that is very effective. If everybody sits there and they're so drawn to the guy like this, as if he's a Hitler mentor. Here's a woman right now running past the house. Very attractive woman, too. She's wearing a red top, black pants. Well, what would I say? I love women. That woman is a beautiful woman. And if you love your woman, it would fucking make your blood goddamn blue if they fucking touched your woman, harmed your woman. Well, they can admire your woman. I see a beautiful woman. I see she's got the freedom to walk up and down and run up and down my road with no one harassing her. And if somebody harassed that woman and I seen such a thing, or somebody being disrespectful from them, I would go right out there and I'd defend that woman. I would have no problem with that. I might be making kudos with her or other women out there in America. You never know when you're next. Oh, it's going to be. So anyway, my name's John Wright. That's my brother Jerry's coffee cup. I was thinking about sending him one and some flowers. Yeah, maybe some lilies. You know, I think that'd be really fucking nice, because Jerry Wright to get lilies in a cup of coffee for me with his face on it, motherfucker, he deserves it. I'm that kind of a guy. I'll send you flowers. Oh, yes, I will. But women, if I send you flowers, it's because I love you. And they're red and they're roses. And I love you. You see, I don't think I've bought women live plants before, you know. Maybe they'll grow, you know. But now, if you get lilies from me in a cup of coffee like this with your face on it, you're on my mind. And if you're on my mind and you've got me fucking wasting my time finding out what you've done, big brother, terrible, 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 terrible. You know, I seen this guy make my friend Stan Hoyt drank piss. Oh, I got pictures down here. There's one of my dad. Isn't that nice? When you see your dad, and actually, Tina Letlow actually described this, and the police made up this picture. It's my dad. Does that face look a little like mine? Should I put glasses on for you? I could do that. Does, does that look like my brother's face in a way too? Kind of. Oh boy. You see, this here's just a can of worms that's just waiting to happen. Oh, here's Bertha Burks. She's from Port Angeles. She was just a little ways from our gas station there. You see, you just kind of just like you start flipping shit up. I'll just take this off. You know, it's so easy to go down memory lane. Now look at this, George. Oh, Bertha Burks. You know, the funny thing about Bertha Burks is she looks kind of like my sister Bonnie. I bet that really gives Bonnie the creeps if she sees it, you know. But then again, that was the hairstyle back in the day. Oh, there's a picture of George Wright, and there's a sketch from California, and that looks like my brother Jim. Doesn't anybody in Lewis County resemble that picture looking like Jim Wright? Oh, their Oldsmobile down there, a 1963 Oldsmobile F85, 85, that's 13, and 1963, John F. Kennedy's murder, by the way. Isn't that something, how they'll do that? And right here, these here new people right here that owns a bowling alley, they put Victory Lanes on it, victim Terry Lance Shortridge, and there's a flag inside the bowling alley that's half ripped off from the right to the left saying it's the right people. You know, Republicans, that guy's up wearing a red shirt. They're all in the thing wearing blue shirts. Hey, Democrats, look what they're doing to us down in the cemetery. Where did the people go get new bowlers in Morton? Well, we'll just dig them up in the cemetery. And now they call it Millhouse Smokehouse. It's been painted gray. It has a saw on the front of it. And if you tell anyone in half, if you tell anybody, we'll cut you in half. Like my mother talking about the baby that will be cut in half between the two women in the Solomon situation in the Bible. Very, very neat. And by the way, I have a light that rolls around. It's a saw right here in front of my 37-foot motorhome, so it is a little bit of a sight on Delphi. My neighbor's right there. She got her house burnt down. Her name's Terry White, T.W. My John Thomas, right? Terry White. Isn't that funny? I mean, and anyway, it was their roommate that took a picture of the bowling alley from the cemetery, looking at Bill Fairhart's cemetery stone. These two boys, one of them's the Connors. You see, they come through the one of them was in the welfare system. One of them has an L. They were up in Port Angeles. Now this here was a threat to the Johnsons. If you fuck with my kids, I'll kill you. That was, you know, something to them personally to my dad is what I found out. What I realized anyway. And here's my sister Bonnie with her child in Port Angeles. I've been separated from them. She's there with her baby. Nobody could tell me that that's not her baby. And look at, it's red writing right there. And red writing right here. It's forever. And by the way, in Lewis County, Washington, I had a bunch of Red Riding Hoods running around doing red writing in the courthouse papers around the Fairlanes Bowling Center. I just want you to know, they ripped that off from me. That was $1.5 million. How many people lose $1.5 million or half of that? Because my real estate agent, Bob Kling, was supposed to have half that. I was to get the other half. And I was supposed to have half his real estate agent. See, and I was supposed to have half of everything, and he was going to be in front of the bowling alley at the Fairways Bowling Center in Centralia, Washington at 1501 South Gold. And why would I have the information about this? And all these people was signing red writing and stuff trying to block their money, and they're losing their bowling alley and stuff like this. And this is the shit that Donald Trump's causing in the United States of America. And to have my picture of my dad and his brother, you know, this is a family thing, and it is a family thing, by the way. Once you're in the mob, you're in the mob forever, I guess, but I'm not in the mob. I never got involved with them. There's my dad. There's Jerry. Jerry's face right there. Jerry Wright's face right there. That's the same face on that cup right there, you guys. That cup right there. And that face right there. You guys understand? There's Jerry Wright. There's my brother's face. There's my dad. There's my dad. My uncle's wearing the sweatshirt that's on the side, the knitted shirt that's colored. That's Milburn, you know, like Millhouse Smokehouse. And I'll tell you what, the Zodiac Killer and D.B. Cooper and everything was the same. And they were orchestrating all this, and they all met up in Morton, Washington last time when my dad was sick. And they all sat up there and they were talking about what they got. What they got, what this one got, what that one got, what this one got. And when my dad said to Milburn here, Lucille and Dawn was there, and they're from Florida. Matter of fact, they're in Florida. You know, Ron DeSaints area in Florida always has quirks in it too. So anyway, she's in Florida. Milburn's in Missouri, I believe. He stayed in Missouri, I believe. And his sister and them, they're over there. And she says, and Dad was sitting there and he's just smiling, you know, kind of taking it all in. It's kind of like they're having a moment between them, and they're all telling who's got what. And I witnessed Milburn say, you know, he got this. You know, Milburn wants to think that he's got all the money. And Milburn don't have the money. He's a little bit like Donald Trump. You know, he's a card. Milburn is. Oh boy. So anyway, but Lucille looks over at Milburn and says, you know, Milburn, she says, you may have a lot of money. She says, and you know what? If you hurt yourself, if you fell off your money, you may hurt yourself. But I'll tell you what, Milburn, if you fell off my money, you'd be committing suicide. and that's just the way that it was. And you should have seen Milburn's face on that one too. He didn't like that one. And then my dad got my sunglasses from me, and then he started doing this here, doing the tilta like this for me to understand about Milburn and him. Oh, yeah, I mean, it was a classical sign of these guys were giving me tips and clues. And I watched this family talk about this stuff. And, you know, for me being ripped off for a gold mine and stuff like that, my brother Jerry be behind it, to be so foolish, to let it slip into someone else's hands to rob his own family because he's following signs and he's nut as a fruitcake. He's up on the Middle Fork Road and he's behind a barbed wire fence. And like I said, this is his dad. This is his dad. This is their motive for hiding and stuff. This is the Zodiac. And this has everything to do with the cops and Hezbollah. You guys, look at this photo. I'm not bullshitting. And isn't this fun? I'm standing here telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And no one can tell me that this woman right here, that isn't her child, but that child's been passed off as my sister, when really that child is my aunt, and they can't face the truth and talk about it correctly. And why don't we just take a little DNA test and we'll just solve this whole problem right here, because I've got DNA tests for everybody. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've got, see, here's a $50 gift package for you. Matter of fact, I've got more than one. You see? Like Patty would say to me, you see, she's going like this, saying, I can make things move with my mind. You see, You see, and the little air is sending a little, and she's actually moving with a little force of air. She's going, you see, you see. I seen bullshit. I said, you should go get help. I think that you should. I think you should get some help and develop this. Do you really think so, John? Oh, yes, Patty. Oh, yes, I do. And this is no shit. This is after coming back from Nevada after they ripped off my gold mine and they're doing their shit. And this was right in the house that was right there next to the fucking. They picked a house that was right there at Alfred Street, I think it's right there, right there, the courthouse parking lot. My Toyota Supra was taken out of the courthouse parking lot, right there where I parked it. It was stolen. My Toyota Supra was ripped off. I thought it was repossessed. It was stolen out of the cops' parking lot. I wonder who really stole my car over everything that was going on. I had people out there body slamming my friend out there in the yard, and I had to put a stop to it. Ronnie Gleason was picking up and body slamming Pat Urian, and when I caught him doing that shit outside, I told him, you keep that up, I'm going to come out there and I'm going to fucking body slam you. I mean, and Pat comes in just totally fucking beat up, telling me this is what's happening. I go, is this happening out here? Well, anyway, you guys, I come from a tough neighborhood, and shit happens and stuff like that. You want to know? I've been at beatdowns before I've seen beatdowns on TV. Here, have a nice day, and you remember, I'm just telling the truth. I'm just right here. Nobody could stand up and talk to me one-on-one. It's like, one-on-one with the great one. Hey, you want a little red sucker? I'll give you one of those. But if you want to take on a real champ, I got one of those. I just want to do it for fucking shock therapy for you. Because people need to be goddamn shocked into the fucking reality of life. Thank you for your time. And remember, my name's John Wright and you're not. And if you want to make up fucking stories, I'm here to come right after you and tell you I'm going to fucking blow the whistle. I'm going to blow your fucking cover. I'm not a law enforcement officer. I don't fucking play by the goddamn rules that they play. But I play by the rules of the land of the Constitution of the United States of America. And I've got goddamn rights, so don't tread on my shit. You have a nice day and don't fuck with my kids and family, or I'm going to come and I'm going to look for you. And that's just the way it is. America's Most Wanted, Donald Trump, and all your little patriot little fucking bastards out there that want to cause trouble. Boy, you're on notice. You should straighten up, and it's pie in your face, Republican people that's been screwed over by the people in their own party. They're playing a fucking game with you. My name's John Wright, and I'm telling you the truth. I am a Republican. I don't take shit from people, and they don't like it when I stand up. Hello, America.